Hi there everybody, welcome. It's Scarlet, Pete's Self-Sufficiency and Crafts, and it's my knitting machine series. My latest toy has arrived. It's a Brother KH230. I've got the matching ribber, and before I open it up, I'm just giving it a good scrub down and clean it, ready to do the full service that I'm going to share with yourselves. So first of all, I'm just scrubbing the outside to get rid of any grime and manky stuff that's on it. All nice and clean now. And here we have the bed that's going to have all the needles taken out. We've got the carriage in a different place. We need to go pick that up. So let's get these needles out and let's clean the inside of the lid as well. We've got the sinker plate that goes on the front of the carriage. We've got the antenna, as I call them, the tension wires. We've got a bit of dirt and grime that needs to come out of there, and we've got the comb, the cast-on comb. It's a very basic machine, but what I like about this machine is it's solid and up to the job. It's a good, basic, lightweight, plain machine. Here's some of the bits we've got for it so far. We've got a carriage, we've got the row counter that clips on, and this is for the ribbing attachment. This is to clamp it to the table, the clamps. Let's see how dirty she is. I wonder if she's been used much. Ooh. Very minimal use, if any. Wow, this is going to clean up beautifully. And the bed tells you that as well. Look, it's not been used at all. It's just been left standing. Let's wake up this machine and get it clean. First thing we're going to do is take out the sponge bar, check the condition of the sponge bar, get out those needles and get them all cleaned up. As with all machines, we push out the sponge bar like this. Here it is. Let's pull it out and see what we've got to deal with. Oh, it's had a new sponge bar. Sponge bar still pretty operational. It would be nice to get it a brand new sponge bar. It needs to get some more of that fabric stuck back onto it, or a new sponge bar. But it's operational at the moment. So let's get these needles out. To get the needles out, pull forwards, close the latch, flick it up, pull it out. The needles feel sticky, but there's hardly any wear on them at all, so they're just dirty sticky. So let's get them into some surgical spirits. I've got a tray I'm going to be using to sit them in. And as I get the needles out, they're going to go in there, and then I'm going to pour in the spirits and leave them soak, and then clean them. All the needles in, ready to bath them. The bed looks lovely and clean. My fingers, well, they're a bit dirty. The needle strip here, the plastic needle strip, I'm quite pleased with that. That is showing very, very little use on the machine. They've just used a few needles by the looks of it, just in the centre. It's a little bit worn, but this machine really hasn't had much use at all. So let's get these needles in the soak now. Just going to leave those do their thing. Pull the needle strip off. Looking for signs of wear, which there's none. Well, very little. So I'm going to wipe this clean now. Now I'm going to vacuum the bed all off, just to get any fluff and dirt from inside. Clean the bed with the vacuum. All I do is just vacuum up and down here with the tool, and under there as well with the crevice tool. Suck in there, get any fluff and dirt out, and then I'm going to get the brush and give it a brush out and vacuum again. So I've got some surgical spirits now on the brush, and I'm just scrubbing away nicely, dislodging any dirt on the top of the machine bed here. I'll go in and out up here, all on the gate pegs or sinker hooks on both sides of them, and just giving a really good general soak and scrub and clean up, just like that. Softening anything up that's on there. Then I'm going to give it a good polish off and have a look what needs to be done next. Brushing away, this is what we've got out of it so far. It looks like it's been used to knit mohair with, by the looks of that, which isn't bad. Right, carry on cleaning. All the needles are now cleaned, polished and back in, and I'm going to show you me putting one in. Going to make sure the latch is open. Slide it along into the hole, through, and I leave them all out like that, and then I just push a pile back in one go. On the 230 there isn't like a spring part here to push down and scoop with. They literally go in and out just like that. And next we put back on the sponge bar to hold them down. Looking much cleaner, isn't it? Just going to push the sponge bar in where it came from, all the way along. That one had just caught there. We should see it pop out at the end. There we go. Sponge bar in. Time to have a look now at the carriage. And once again, this is in really good condition. I just need to give the brushes here a bit of a clean out and brush. And I'll use a little comb to do that and just comb them clean. And the carriage underneath has very little wear and very little dirt in it, and all I'm going to use is that brush, the white spirit, surgical spirit, sorry, and I'm just going to brush and clean all underneath the carriage. And you can see how clean that is. I've just brushed and cleaned in everywhere. There's a hair on there I've got to get rid of. I've cleaned and brushed in the rails where it goes on the machine, and I'm just going to wipe it all now before I oil it. I've got the carriage back on, all clean, and I'm going to test it now in a second. But first of all, I'm going to go back over here to the brushes. See these brushes here I've cleaned out, brushed nicely. There's no fluff left in them. This one here, still got plenty fluff in, and so I've combed them. And now I'm just going to pull out all that nasty fluff and then check the condition of them and see how they are. So just keep pulling this all off them. Quite a lot comes out, it's quite a surprise. There you go, see? And there's a bit more there. Oops. And while we're in here in the sinker plate, we're going to check that the magnets are intact, that everything moves nice and freely. Like that. Quite often, you see how freely this one's moving. That one has possibly got some dirt under it, so we might undo these screws here, just get any fluff from underneath, pull it off and put them back on, and that will clean it. But that's all it is really, checking that it's square, that there's nothing out of place, that it's not been dented or dropped. Check these weaving brushes under here, or they're not quite the weaving brushes, but check those brushes and everything are clean. Time to do some quick testing of the carriage. So I've got a couple of needles out and I'm just going to knit across. No jamming, obviously. I'm going to put it onto intarsia here. The needles should come out into upper working position on both sides. Perfect. Let's put it onto partial knitting. So there we go, it's not knitting while we've got it in par. I'm going to put it on holding position. It doesn't knit. Checking that this one knits still. Put it back out. That one down. Fine. Put this side onto holding. This side onto holding. And then I'm going to check the tension dial underneath for movement. Slip the carriage off, it hits the full stop, lift up, slide off. And now underneath, these cams should move when I move the... Let's see if I can show them moving. There we go. That's the tension moving. All working nicely. Everything moving symmetrically on both sides. Slide the carriage back on, line it up, get it on the back runner, lift to get on, back into knit. I've got the tension mast on, all cleaned out and checked it's working fine. Let's get some yarn in this machine. Tension dial 8, yarn into the feeder, E-wrap, all threaded up nicely, and we're going to go 1 row across. Knitted nicely, the machine's a happy machine. I like to test how nice a machine will be without weights. I know you should use a cast on comb and weights, but I like to see how forgiving a machine is. And that's quite happy to knit without weights. Put it onto intarsia. There we go. It won't knit in intarsia. It's now put the needles in the right arrangement for me to lie the yarn across, which I'm now going to do. Yarn laid across. Carriage has no yarn in it. Just going to pull it down a little bit with my knees, just the end here. Let's just go across, and there we go. It's knitting fine. It's knitted tight, it's knitted loose, it's knitted long length. One happy machine. Carriage and machine are now nicely clean. Got the oil that came with the machine. I've got the row counter now clipped in place. Just like that. Oops, can't do it left-handed. So I'm going to oil on the cams here, here, here. Going to put a little bit of oil on the runner on the front and some oil on the back. A little bit of oil in the back rails and then some across the needle. That's all the oil she's going to get. Machine's now put back together. She's oiled, she's clean. Why do I like this type of machine? Why do I prefer this to the plastic machine that I didn't give such a great review to the other week? For me, it's because it's lightweight. It's just as lightweight as the plastic beds. A little bit more substance to it. It's a proper machine. It's got a metal bed. For me, this is what I'm saying about me. This is why I like it. I don't need to be quite so delicate with it. It's a strong, good machine, simple, no fair isle, but we've got intarsia so we can make patterns. We've got partial knitting and we've got plain knitting. We've got holding position. Basically, we've got everything that we want here. We've got a row counter. We've got a really good tension mast setup that I like. I really enjoy this machine, and I think for a basic chunky wool yarn machine that will do mohair, double knitting and chunky yarns, and produce some good quality garments, I don't think you can go too far wrong with this simple basic Brother KH230. The tools are nice and chunky. It has a good cast on comb. Nice to feel the combs are as well, the selecting combs. Nice feel to them. Good tools. I love my Brother machines. It's got a nice clean carry case now. We've cleaned that up. It's protected well by this type of carry case. So it's time to pack her away. Get the ribber, clean the ribber down, put the two together, test them, and then let's get them on eBay. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. Give me a comment so I know you're there. Let me know what you think. Bye-bye.